Her breath reeked of champagne and victory when she leaned close. "You're just a waiter now," she murmured, eyes glittering like she'd just pinned me under her heel. I didn't flinch. I poured the wine, set the glass in front of her, and smiled, because I'd been waiting for this moment. The front door opened. A man in a black suit stepped inside, clean-cut, unreadable face, a small gold pin on his lapel. He scanned the room, locked eyes with me, and crossed over without hesitation. "Senior Agent Jade Carter," he said, extending his hand. "It's an honor." Forks paused mid-air. Glasses hovered, untouched. My stepmother's smirk drained from her lips. But to understand the silence that followed, you need to know the years that led to it. I was 16 when my father married her, Victoria. She was elegance dipped in venom, a social climber who collected people like jewelry. At first, she treated me like a project. New clothes, private school, her icy hand gripping my shoulder in every family photo. I thought it was love, in her own way. That illusion cracked the year I turned 21. My father had a heart attack. 2 weeks later, she sat across from me in the lawyer's office and smiled like she'd won a game I didn't know we were playing. She got the house, the accounts, my father's company. I got nothing, not even his watch. Her reasoning? "You're young, Jade. You'll make your own way." I left that office with empty pockets and a calm I didn't feel. It started small, the signs she'd been planning this long before my father died. I found old emails between her and his business partner, restructuring assets behind his back. Her name on property deeds that weren't hers a year earlier. I confronted her once. She didn't deny it. She just laughed. "Darling, the world doesn't reward the honest, it rewards the clever." That was the last time she saw me as the naive stepdaughter she could manipulate. I didn't spiral. I calculated. I sold what little I had and left the city. Enlisted under an alias. My plan was simple: disappear where she couldn't find me, build skills she could never imagine, then come back, not for revenge, but for checkmate. Years passed in the shadows. Surveillance training, counterintelligence, covert ops. I learned how to read lies in the twitch of an eyelid, how to dismantle someone's life without leaving fingerprints. Every mission I took was another brick in the wall I was building between who I had been and who I had become. She thought she was gone, forgotten, broken. I made sure she kept thinking that. When I came back, I didn't walk into her world as her stepdaughter. I walked in as someone invisible. I took the job as a waiter at her annual family party. I wore the black vest, the bow tie. I let her friends glance past me like I didn't exist. I knew she'd notice. She always needed an audience for her cruelty. She cornered me near the wine table, ready to savor my humiliation. That whisper, "You're just a waiter now," was meant to crush me. But I wasn't there to serve drinks. I was there to serve the end game. 2 months earlier, I'd begun the real operation, quietly, precisely. Her second husband, a tech CEO with a fragile ego, had a mistress. I had the footage, the bank transfers, the hotel records. Her charity? A front for laundering campaign donations. I traced the money trail right to her personal accounts. The offshore property she hid from the IRS? I mapped it, down to the tile in the kitchen. I packaged it all, sent it through secure channels. Not to the police, not to the press, to people far higher, far more dangerous, the ones who didn't knock when they came for you. The Pentagon had been watching her charity for months. My file made sure they didn't just watch, they acted. Back at the party, the man in the suit clasped my hand like we were old allies. "Senior Agent Carter," he said again, loud enough for every single guest to hear. "We need to speak with you about your intel on Operation Glass Veil." I nodded, as if this was just another Tuesday. Of course. Victoria's glass slipped from her hand, shattering against the marble. Senior agent? She repeated, her voice brittle. The man turned to her, eyes sharp. Mrs. Whitmore, we'll also need to discuss your involvement in several classified matters. We'd prefer to do this discreetly. Her friend stared, whispers rising like smoke. Her husband took a step back, as if her downfall might be contagious. I didn't move. I just held her gaze. She finally saw me. Not the girl she stole from, but the woman who'd been building her ruin piece by piece. They let her out the front door. No handcuffs yet. That would come later, when the cameras weren't flashing. I stayed behind, picked up the empty champagne flute she'd left on the table. Her lipstick still marked the rim.